everyone, it's Derrick Broze, and I'm here in Las Vegas at the Bitcoin Conference with my old friend and mother warrior champion, Lyn Ulbricht. And wow, Lyn, it is, we're just talking about how many interviews we've done over the years, over the last decade, crazy enough. And this is the most joyous one, because I remember sitting with you at the Texas Libertarian Convention somewhere in Texas and in New York City, and online interviews and fundraisers for Ross, and all of the work that you yourself, I really think that more than anybody out there who has done their part over the years, and there was many of us, you deserve the credit for just the fight you did for your son.
Thank you.
I mean, just really want to sing your praises, and thank you for everything you've done for Ross, and for now, for those who are also suffering. Before we get into your new project, how does it feel? How's life been since?
God is good. God is good. You know, I really, it's a miracle. I really think it's like, how did this happen exactly? I mean, I was day by day by day doing the next thing, but it's like, now Ross is out and he's speaking publicly and he's living a life. And
isn't it crazy how things can just change that rapidly? And now it feels like just
slowly
a bad
but rapidly at the same time.
Yeah, it's still,
you know
it's still fresh, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you're able to now kind of, wow, that was a chapter in our lives, and now we're moving to the next chapter.
Yeah,
and there's a lot.
That's true.
Ross is starting to speak publicly, and everybody's very excited about that. You're starting to work on new projects. You mentioned it being a miracle. I'm just curious, just my own curiosity. How big a role do you think prayer played in this whole thing?
You know,
is that something that's important to you and your family?
Very, very much. I remember just lying in bed, waking up that morning, way early, back in New York when Ross was in prison there, and just hearing, not in my ears, not in my thoughts, but more in my spirit, he will be free. And I was like, who said that? You know, kind of thing. He will be free. And I believe God was telling me he will be free. And later, similar, the Lord will lead. And I was like, okay, I'm following whatever nudges, whatever opportunities. And some of them were like, really? I'm supposed to do that?
Yeah.
And I just always, especially when it's time when I was praying or meditating, and I would get a thought, I'd go, all right, I'll do that, or I'll call that person, and all along the way, and every talk I gave, I was like, give me the words. I mean, it was very important. And I believe God sent me the right people. You're one of them, who just with the perfect people. And there were tough times, and tough times where I'm like, how am I ever going to get?
Perhaps after the Supreme Court decided not to take up the case and things like that.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Then I thought, okay, I'm into politics now. I'm out of the courts. I have no faith in the courts. I'm just going to go to politics. And in a way, it felt better, because I was like, well, this is a people thing now. I got to get to people, and that seemed more doable. But still, And just at various times, I'm trying to think of other really tough. Well, of course, when Trump didn't pardon him the first time.
Yeah, just the first time.
And I'm like, because we were somewhat hopeful. We had gotten indication that Trump was interested, and he thought it was a bad sentence. And different people, Charlie Kirk, for example, talked to him, and he, and we thought, well, maybe he'll do it, And
you had no hope that the other side was going to do it. They showed really no interest in Ross at all.
Yeah, we tried. I mean, look, I was like, whoever wants to, I'm good with you. But no, not really.
How does it feel, like on just like a personal level? Did you ever have any kind of struggles with the idea that Ross could be like a political football for some people? You know what I mean? Like he just a way to score points, like whether it's with the Bitcoin community. And did you ever have any doubts of the sincerity of some of the people you were meeting, like, or whether or not again it was just like, well, this might help them out politically, but do they really care about Ross?
I would say in general, that kind of effort that we have attracts scammers, attracts users. I think it does.
Yeah.
There's opportunities or wanting to, and I'm pretty trusting, and I've learned to be a little more discerning, but I'm still pretty trusting, but I think it's overall good. So I think more that way. Politically, I don't think it was on the radar for most of the time enough.
Yeah.
But as far as people wanting to grift off of Ross,
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we saw, both you and I have a mutual friend, Kenny, who is also one of the longtime advocates.
Yes,
he was involved in a project that was associated with Free Ross, not directly, but something that was trying to directly support Ross, and there was definitely other meme coins and scam coins that had nothing to do with Ross, and probably raised quite a bit of money, and who knows where that money went.
Exactly.
So that was unfortunate to see, but nevertheless, now here we are.
Yeah.
Ross is free.
Yeah.
He's speaking tomorrow, and I can't wait to meet Ross in person and give him a big hug and just, get to know him as a person now, beyond just somebody that, I've never met him before. I became aware of the cause because of, through Bitcoin largely, and then meeting you and getting to meet you, I think really made this fight for Ross real for me, because every time, even over the years, every time I would hear you speak, it would always bring me to tears, because I just felt, I could feel it. I told you, I spent 19 months behind bars when I was 20 years old, and that was enough for me to realize I need to change my life, and to see that there are people, good people, locked up behind bars for no good reason in many cases, and people who maybe did commit mistakes and made for crimes, but also are good people trying to rehabilitate themselves, and that the prison system is not designed for rehabilitation, and to pick out those good people who are trying to change their lives and help them become a good upstanding citizen. And so a lot of people are wasting away, and every time I heard you talk about it and seeing Ross, and I was lucky enough for Ross to write a couple times, and it's been a beautiful journey, and it's been harrowing. It's been like you said, the ups and the downs, and here we are. And so it's a big blessing. And now you're not done though. Nobody would blame you if you decided after all this, guys, I'm going to disappear, live the rest of my life. My son's free. I did what I could. Nice to meet all you Bitcoin and libertarian people. I'm going to rest. But that's not what you're doing. You are now
a little bit.
You can rest, of course. But you're taking up this cause, and you just launched a new organization, Mothers Against Cruel Sentencing. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, over those years, I met a lot of people and families who they'd say, what they were in for, and I'm like, and how much time? And I'm like, what? You got that much time? Your husband got that much? That's crazy. Ross knows somebody in Colorado in a very tough prison. He's got life for user amount of crack in his pocket. He's an addict. Life. He wasn't selling it. And things, it's like insane. And his daughter grew up without her father. It's so damaging to families. It's damaging to communities. And as we were leaving the prison, we got visiting room with the prisoners and then their families, and we know a lot of them. And we were leaving. They were like, "Bye, bye. We're so happy for you. We're so happy for you." And I was like, "But they're there. Still there, and they're going to be there for a long time. A lot of them, maybe the rest of their life, or most of it." And I just kept thinking about them, and I'm like, I can't just go on. Oh, Ross is out, which is great. But I'm not taking away from that, but. I keep thinking about them whenever I think, I can't do this, and it's like, no, we got to do this. I mean, and I'm not going to do it in the same intensity. I can't. And I have a lot of people who are interested to help now too, and we'll just we'll just take it one step at a time, but call attention to it for sure.
And maybe
I know I can do that.
That's part of the silver lining, or maybe a bigger divine plan. Has this happened to your family and to Ross, and it's kind of giving you guys a peek into a whole other set of injustices that maybe you might not have been aware of.
I wouldn't have been
realizing
before.
Like, wow, this is people who are suffering this way, and so much of it ties into the drug world, like you said. I mean, some of them being small charges of crack cocaine or something. It's the legacy of these old laws that were if you're caught with crack, treat it like it's a murder case or something like that. And people are just being, just wasting away. What's your first steps? You see, now you've launched the organization. People are reaching out. What's your hopes with that? Just to try to shine light on specific cases, or the issue more broadly, or how do you see that?
Yeah, I want to get some guidance from people who've been in the criminal justice reform world longer, and get ideas about what's the best effective thing to do. Because these conferences this summer, because there's 3 of them I'm going to be presenting this at, kind of propelled it for now. I'm kind of would have waited till the fall when I had gotten a chance. So what I'm putting the idea out there. We're going to talk about it, bring attention to it, and then meet with and discuss this with people who probably know a lot more than I do. And maybe we could. A vision I have is to have, say, a mom who has a son in there, me, like me, and have her for 1 minute say, my son did this, this is the sentence, this is how it's affected our family, and put it up on our website, and end up with a whole bunch of that, and start telling those stories. Because once you hear those stories, that's when it gets you. The statistics don't, they're not as impactful.
You got to put a human face.
That's right, and really get it. And it's just wrong. that's, I think, one reason Ross was pardoned. Trump said more than once, that's part of that sentence. It's just like, I've never heard of a sentence like that. And a lot of people are like, you got what? This is an abuse of it's an abuse and a weaponization of our criminal justice system that can be used against anybody.
Absolutely.
And it needs to be corrected. Our founders saw it and said no cruel and unusual punishment. That's the Eighth Amendment. And it's like, it's right in our Constitution.
It's happened to other people. I remember being in the courtroom and hearing the 3 life sentences and feeling like I got kicked in the chest, just all the air just out, and then looking and seeing you and the family and just like, wait, did we just hear this right?
Am I dreaming? Is this some nightmare? Yeah.
Well, the nightmare's over, and now you guys can help more and more people.
Yeah.
What's the best place for people to learn about Mothers Against Cruel Sentencing?
Well, we have a website, mothersagainstcruelsentencing.org. It's a mouthful, but Max was taken, but we call it Max for short. But Max was taken. But mothersagainstcruelsentencing.org. We want to say cruel sentencing because it is cruel and it's un-American. We have the value of mercy in our country. There should be mercy and redemption. And some people need to be in prison. Okay, they do, but to protect us out here. But many don't need to be as long as they do. So,
I wish you the best of luck on this. And
thank you.
The world has Ross back. We have you and a strong mother here to just keep
get
fighting.
More strong mothers and others, not just mothers. Hey, we welcome anyone. It doesn't
all the parents and all the people who want to come fight. This is a huge issue. It's definitely something I care deeply about. Guys, please check out mothersagainstcruelsentencing.org. I'll put all the details below, and we look forward to seeing what Ross does next. And
me too.
You on your journey. All right.
Thank you, Derrick, for everything.
Everybody. Follow Lyn.
I got to say one thing about you. Derrick will always go down in my history, as the guy who stood up after the sentencing and said, "Free Ross Ulbricht." And the judge freaked out. She was quite shocked. That was awesome.
That was
great.
Completely unplanned, involuntary emotional response. Like I said, hearing the sentencing, it just felt like what's going, and it just felt like an instant impulse of and I wanted really more than anything. And Ross, if you hear this, I wanted Ross to hear that. Like just realizing what was about to happen to him, and none of us know what's coming next, and just things are not going the direction we hoped. It's like I've
had
this instinct for Ross to hear something positive about we're here with you, we're standing with you.
That was so cool. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, guys, till next time. Remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.
Since 2012, the Conscious Resistance Network has been an independent media organization focused on empowering individuals through education, philosophy, health, and community organizing. We work to create a world where corporate and state power do not rule over the lives of free human beings. Our motto is leading by example and helping others in their pursuit of freedom. Visit theconsciousresistance.com to find our articles, documentaries, interviews, podcasts, books, and more. Remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free.